Love is not just an emotion, but a long journey full of challenges, learning, and growth. But do we really understand love, or are we just vague with ups and downs? Have you ever felt like you're always there for him, but somehow, he's never fully there for you? Like you're giving your heart to someone who only gives you his time when it's easy or convenient? Sometimes, the most painful relationships aren't the ones filled with fights, they're the ones filled with waiting, wondering, and silence. In this video, we'll uncover 8 powerful signs that a man may only see you as a backup option. These truths might sting, but they'll also set you free. Because the love you deserve doesn't make you guess, it makes you feel certain. Welcome to the channel, Sophia's Knowledge, and my name is Sophia. This is where we explore real stories, profound lessons, and valuable experiences about love. Today, in this video, Sophia will share with you 8 signs a man only sees you as a backup plan. If you have ever wondered about questions about love, don't skip this video. For the best experience, find a quiet place, put on your headphones and let yourself completely listen to what I am about to share. Relax, and let everything flow away. Let's find out with Sophia the secrets to help you live more fully in each relationship. Let's get started together. Sign 1. He only comes to you when there's no one else. One of the most painful truths in any relationship is realizing that you're not someone's first choice. You're not the person they think of when they're excited, happy, or eager to share good news. Instead, you're the one they reach out to only when the rest of the world seems to have turned its back on them. When he only contacts you during his lonely hours or when other options fall through, it's not affection, it's convenience. This type of behavior is subtle at first. You may not notice it right away because it often hides behind sweet words, sudden affection, or excuses like "I've just been busy." But if you step back and observe the pattern, it becomes painfully clear. He reaches out when he's bored, when his plans have been cancelled, or when someone else, perhaps the woman he truly desires, is no longer available. And suddenly, you become the safety net he falls into. A man who only seeks you out in moments of isolation or emotional drought is not building a relationship with you. He's using you to fill a temporary void. And while you may feel needed or even flattered in those moments, it's important to understand the cost. You're giving your time, energy, and emotions to someone who does not value you enough to prioritize you when things are going well. Ask yourself this: when was the last time he called you just because he missed you? When was the last time he planned something in advance, something thoughtful, something meaningful? Or do all your interactions start with a late-night text, a last-minute invite, or a casual "what are you doing tonight?" If he only shows up when no one else is around, that's not love, it's a backup plan in action. Being someone's second option often feels like emotional whiplash. One moment he's warm and attentive, the next he disappears. You're left questioning yourself, wondering what you did wrong, why the energy shifted, why you're suddenly not important anymore. But the truth is, it's not about you at all. It's about him, and how little effort he's willing to invest in someone he doesn't see as essential to his life. A relationship based on convenience is not a relationship at all. It's a transaction. He gets comfort, attention, perhaps even physical intimacy, and you're left with confusion, emptiness, and longing. And the worst part? You may start lowering your standards just to keep him interested. You may start thinking, "At least he's still texting me," or "at least I get to see him sometimes." But these small crumbs of attention are not enough to nourish a real connection. You deserve more than being someone's temporary fix. You deserve someone who chooses you, consistently, clearly, and without hesitation. A man who truly values you will not only show up during his dark moments but will want to share the light with you too. He will include you in his victories, in his dreams, and in his daily life. He won't just come running when he's hurt, he'll walk beside you even when everything's fine. It can be hard to accept this truth, especially if you've developed feelings for him. But clinging to someone who only sees your worth when it's convenient for them will only delay the love you truly deserve. The longer you allow yourself to be someone's plan B, the longer you stay unavailable to someone who would make you their plan A without a second thought. Letting go of someone who doesn't choose you first is not a loss, it's a step toward reclaiming your self-worth. It's saying to yourself, I am no one's option. I am someone's choice. And that shift in mindset will change everything. It will filter out those who are not serious and make space for someone who looks at you and says, it's always been you. You are not here to be a stand-in for someone else's uncertainty. You are here to be loved deeply, chosen deliberately, and cherished without conditions. And that starts with no longer accepting the role of a backup in anyone's life. If you found this video helpful, please share it with your friends or family to spread the value. And if you have any questions or ideas, leave them in the comments. I'm always listening and ready to answer. Let's continue together. Sign 2. He never makes the relationship public. There is something undeniably powerful about being acknowledged. When a man is proud of the woman he is with, it shows, not just in the way he treats her in private, but also in how he holds her presence in public. He doesn't hide her. He doesn't act like she's a secret. He lets the world know that she matters to him. So when a man refuses to make your relationship public, it raises a red flag that should never be ignored. At first, it may seem harmless. Maybe he tells you that he's a private person, that he doesn't like posting his personal life online. Maybe he claims he just wants to protect what you two have from outside opinions. But as time goes on, the excuses become patterns. He avoids taking photos with you. He never introduces you to his close friends or family. He keeps you separate from the rest of his world. And slowly, you begin to realize that you are being hidden, not protected. A man who is serious about you wants you to be part of his life in every way. He will naturally want to share your presence with the people who matter to him. If weeks or months go by and you've never met a single friend of his, never been invited to a gathering, never even been mentioned in conversations with others, it's not because he's private. It's because he's uncertain, or worse, he's keeping his options open. When someone values you deeply, they want to claim you, not in a possessive or controlling way, but in a proud, joyful way. They want to say, this is the person I love. Hiding a relationship signals that he either has someone else, is hoping for someone else, or doesn't see you as someone worth fully committing to. And no matter how much affection he shows in private, what he refuses to do in public speaks even louder. Being someone's secret feels like walking on a tightrope. You're there, balancing your emotions, trying to feel secure in something that is constantly kept in the shadows. You begin to wonder, am I not good enough to be seen? What is he afraid of? And over time, that secrecy starts to chip away at your confidence. You question your worth, even though the problem is not you, it's his lack of clarity and integrity. A healthy relationship thrives on openness, honesty, and integration. You should be able to stand next to your partner, both in private and in public, without feeling like an invisible part of his life. The person who truly loves you will not be afraid to say your name out loud. He will not flinch when someone asks who you are. He will be proud to let people know that you are his. Some men avoid going public with a relationship because they fear commitment. Others do it because they are juggling multiple women and need to keep things separate. And then there are those who simply don't want to be held accountable. Because when a relationship becomes public, it becomes real. It comes with responsibility, expectations, and emotional investment, and not every man is ready to rise to that level. But you should never settle for a love that is kept in the dark. You deserve to be celebrated, not concealed. You deserve someone who wants to walk with you in the daylight, hand in hand, without hesitation. A man who is genuinely in love with you will want the world to know it, not for validation, but because his heart is full, and he cannot contain it. If he continues to make you feel like a secret, it's time to ask yourself why you're staying. What are you afraid to lose? Because the truth is, being hidden is already a form of loss, a loss of dignity, self-worth, and peace of mind. And you are worth so much more than that. Real love does not require hiding. Real love is proud, open, and brave. It doesn't whisper your name behind closed doors, it speaks it boldly, without shame, without fear. And until you find that kind of love, keep your head high, and don't let anyone convince you that secrecy is romantic. It's not. It's avoidance dressed up as protection. And you deserve better than that. If you are still watching the video, do not hesitate to comment continue. Leave your thoughts and questions below in the comment section. I look forward to hearing your opinions, and do not forget to like and subscribe to the channel so that Sophia has more motivation to create more good and meaningful videos. Let's continue together. Sign 3. Hot and cold behavior, no consistency. One of the most confusing and emotionally draining experiences in a relationship is dealing with a man whose affection fluctuates like a light switch. One day, he showers you with attention, tells you he misses you, and makes you feel like the center of his world. The next day, he becomes distant, unavailable, or emotionally cold. You're left wondering what changed overnight, replaying every word you said, trying to figure out where things went wrong. This cycle of inconsistency is more than just emotional turbulence. It is often a sign that he is not fully invested in the relationship, or worse, that he is trying to keep you emotionally dependent without giving you real stability. When a man is hot and cold, he creates a roller coaster of highs and lows that can be mistaken for passion, but in truth, it is a form of manipulation or indecision. Consistency is a hallmark of genuine love. When someone truly cares about you, their presence, interest, and emotional availability remain steady over time. Of course, no one is perfect, and emotions can fluctuate. But there's a big difference between natural emotional rhythms and a repeated pattern of unpredictable behavior. If you feel like you're constantly being pulled in and pushed away, you're not in a relationship, you're in emotional limbo. This inconsistency often begins with charm. In the beginning, he may seem deeply interested. He texts you all day, wants to see you often, and makes bold statements about how special you are. But once he feels he has your attention or emotional investment, his energy shifts. He becomes harder to reach. His replies become colder, slower, or even non-existent for days. Just when you're about to walk away, he reappears, sweet, attentive, and apologetic, pulling you back in. This kind of behavior creates an emotional dependency. You begin to crave his warm moments and tolerate his cold ones in the hope that the good days will return. You tell yourself he's just stressed, busy, or going through something. You hold on to the memories of when he was affectionate, hoping they will come back. But in doing so, you ignore the pattern, and how much it is eroding your sense of security. The truth is, when a man is truly sure about you, he won't play games. He won't disappear and reappear based on his mood or convenience. He won't make you feel like you're walking on emotional eggshells. Instead, he'll provide consistency. He'll want to communicate, even on his worst days. He'll show up for you, not just in words, but in actions. Hot and cold behavior often stems from indecisiveness, emotional immaturity, or the desire to keep control. Some men behave this way because they enjoy the feeling of power it gives them, they know you're emotionally hooked, and they use that to their advantage. Others are simply afraid of real intimacy and push you away the moment things start to feel too real. Whatever the reason, it's not your job to fix it. It's not your job to convince him to be consistent. If you find yourself constantly justifying his distance, overanalyzing his texts, or feeling anxious about when he'll reach out next, take a step back. Ask yourself, is this how love is supposed to feel? You deserve emotional peace, not emotional chaos. You deserve to feel secure, not unsure. You deserve someone who is there for you every day, not just on days when it's convenient or when he feels lonely. Love is not meant to be confusing. Real love is calm, clear, and consistent. Stop mistaking inconsistency for mystery. Stop calling his emotional distance independence. A man who wants to be with you will not keep you guessing. He will want to make sure you feel safe, valued, and emotionally grounded in the relationship. The most powerful thing you can do is to stop chasing the warm moments and start demanding consistency. If he cannot give that to you, then he is not ready for the kind of love you are capable of offering. And walking away from that kind of uncertainty is not a loss, it's a courageous choice to protect your peace. Sign 4. Avoids talking about the future. When a man is serious about you, he doesn't hesitate to include you in his future. It happens naturally, even in small ways, mentioning future vacations, talking about moving in together, or simply planning the next few weekends. Future-oriented conversations are a reflection of emotional commitment. So when a man consistently avoids talking about the future with you, it's a warning sign that he may not see you as part of his long-term life. At first, this may not be obvious. In the early stages of a relationship, it's normal to live in the present and enjoy the moment. But as time passes and your emotional bond deepens, the lack of future-oriented dialogue begins to feel unsettling. You may start to wonder why he never talks about where the relationship is going, or why he seems uncomfortable when you bring up even basic plans. If every conversation about commitment, goals, or the direction of the relationship is met with silence, deflection, or vague responses, it's not just a communication issue, it's a sign of reluctance. He may say things like "let's not rush things," or "I'm just focusing on the present." While these statements sound reasonable, when repeated over time without progress, they become excuses for emotional stagnation. Avoiding the future is a tactic often used by men who enjoy the benefits of a relationship without wanting the responsibilities that come with commitment. They want the companionship, the affection, and the emotional support, but not the accountability or the emotional investment that builds a future. In other words, they want you to stay, but only until it no longer serves them. This avoidance creates a sense of emotional limbo. You feel like you're moving, but going nowhere. You're investing time, energy, and emotion into someone who hasn't shown that he's willing to build something lasting with you. The relationship may look fine on the surface, but underneath, it lacks the foundation of shared vision and mutual planning. A man who truly values you will want to grow with you. He will ask you about your dreams and talk about how he fits into them. He will include you in his decision-making. He will want to make plans, whether it's about a trip next month, goals for the next year, or what kind of life you both want to build. He won't shy away from these conversations, he'll welcome them. If, on the other hand, you're the only one initiating these discussions, and every time you do, he becomes distant or irritated, you need to take that seriously. You may even find yourself apologizing for bringing it up, or downplaying your desire for clarity just to keep the peace. But ignoring this red flag will not change the outcome. If he doesn't want to talk about a future with you, chances are he doesn't envision one. Some men avoid future talks because they are emotionally unavailable. Others are keeping their options open. Some are simply not ready for the kind of relationship you're looking for. And while it's okay for someone to be at a different stage of emotional readiness, it's not okay for them to lead you on or keep you in a holding pattern. You deserve clarity. You deserve to know where you stand. A healthy relationship includes mutual expectations, shared direction, and emotional alignment. If someone continuously resists discussing the future, it's a sign that your visions may never align. And staying in a relationship where the future is always uncertain will only breed anxiety and insecurity. You are not asking for too much by wanting to know where things are headed. Wanting emotional safety, commitment, and shared goals is not being needy. It's being honest about your worth and what you need to feel secure. A man who wants a life with you will not avoid the future, he will build it with you. So if he constantly avoids talking about what's next, take a step back and ask yourself, Is this truly the kind of love I want? Because love that has no direction is not love, it's a distraction. And you are worthy of so much more than that. Sign 5. Only makes time when it's convenient for him. One of the clearest signs that you are not a priority in a man's life is when he only makes time for you when it fits into his schedule, his mood, or his needs. Relationships require mutual effort, shared space, and intentional presence. When he only shows up on his terms, and you are the one constantly adjusting to fit into his life, it becomes painfully clear you are not being valued equally. At first, it may seem like he is just busy. He has work commitments, responsibilities, or unexpected things that come up. But with time, a pattern begins to emerge. He rarely initiates plans in advance. He contacts you only when he has free time, usually last minute, and expects you to be available. Your life is expected to bend for him, but he never bends for you. This imbalance is not just about time, it's about respect. When a man truly cares, he makes room for you, not just when it's easy or convenient, but also when it requires effort. He doesn't wait until all his other plans fall through. He doesn't treat you like a backup plan or a filler when he is bored. He prioritizes you because you matter to him. A relationship should feel like a two-way street. You both make time for each other. You both consider each other's schedules, desires, and emotional needs. But when one person is always adjusting and the other is always dictating, it's no longer a partnership, it's a performance where one person is doing all the work to keep the illusion alive. Being with someone who only shows up when it suits him can be emotionally exhausting. You begin to question your worth. You wonder why he doesn't plan dates, why he forgets important days, or why he never seems excited to see you. You may even start blaming yourself, thinking maybe you're asking for too much. But the truth is, you're not. Wanting to feel prioritized, respected, and thought of is not asking for too much. It's asking for the bare minimum in a meaningful relationship. You deserve someone who looks forward to spending time with you, not someone who squeezes you into the leftover spaces of their life. You deserve someone who plans with you in mind, who checks in regularly, and who makes you feel like your presence matters. When a man only sees you when it's convenient, it often means he is keeping emotional distance. He may not want to fully commit. He may be unsure about what he wants, or worse, he may be using you to satisfy his own temporary needs without offering anything deeper in return. This kind of behavior can make you feel disposable, like your value depends entirely on his whims. A real connection requires real time, time that is intentional, consistent, and respectful of both people involved. A man who values you will not just reach out when he's lonely, bored, or has no other plans. He will want to be with you because your presence brings joy, comfort, and meaning to his life. Look closely at the dynamic. Are you always waiting for him to reach out? Are you the one constantly adjusting your plans just to see him? Do you feel anxious whenever you ask to spend time together, as if you're afraid of hearing another excuse? If so, you're not in a balanced relationship. You're in a cycle of convenience, and it's hurting your self-worth. You deserve someone who meets you halfway. Someone who doesn't just show up when the timing is perfect, but who makes the time, even when it requires sacrifice. Because real love isn't about convenience. It's about commitment. And someone who truly loves you will make you feel chosen, not tolerated. Stop accepting crumbs of attention and calling it a meal. Stop rearranging your life for someone who won't even pencil you into theirs. Your time, your heart, and your energy are precious. Do not waste them on someone who only values them when it's easy. You deserve to be with someone who makes you feel like a priority every day. Not just when it's convenient for him. Never settle for being someone's option when you are meant to be someone's choice. Sign 6. He doesn't try to build a deeper emotional connection. Love is more than just spending time together or exchanging sweet words. At its core, love is about connection, real, deep, vulnerable connection. It's about two people choosing to open their hearts, to be seen fully, and to build something meaningful beyond the surface. When a man shows no effort to connect with you emotionally, it is not just a lack of depth. It is a sign that he may not be invested in the relationship the way you are. An emotional connection cannot be forced. But it can, and must, be nurtured. If every conversation you have with him stays on the surface, if he avoids talking about feelings, dreams, fears, or anything that reveals his inner world, then you are not truly bonding. You are simply sharing space without truly sharing yourselves. In a healthy relationship, emotional intimacy is built over time. It grows through honest conversations, empathy, shared vulnerability, and mutual curiosity. It is when you can talk for hours, not just about your days, but about your past, your hopes, your struggles, and what makes you who you are. It is when he asks how you really feel, and he actually listens, not to respond, but to understand. But when a man doesn't care to dig deeper, when he avoids meaningful conversations, or quickly changes the subject every time you bring up something important, he is keeping you at a distance. It may not be obvious at first. He may still say he enjoys your company or likes being around you. But over time, you begin to feel a void. You realize that despite all the time you spend together, he still feels like a stranger. This lack of emotional connection often leaves you feeling empty, lonely, and confused. You begin to wonder why you don't feel truly seen or heard. You might even question your worth, thinking you're not interesting enough or lovable enough to inspire his deeper attention. But the problem isn't you. It's that he's unwilling or incapable of forming a genuine emotional bond. Sometimes, men avoid emotional intimacy because they fear vulnerability. They associate emotional openness with weakness, or they have been hurt in the past and are now guarded. Others simply don't want a relationship that requires emotional labor. They prefer casual, surface-level interactions that ask little of them and allow them to stay in control. Regardless of the reason, if someone is emotionally unavailable, no amount of effort on your part can change that. You can't love him into opening up. You can't force depth with someone who is committed to staying shallow. And the more you try, the more emotionally drained you will become. A man who wants a real relationship will want to know your soul, not just your schedule. He will ask thoughtful questions. He will remember the things that matter to you. He will notice your mood changes and ask what's going on beneath the surface. He will want to grow closer. Not just physically, but emotionally and mentally. You deserve that kind of connection. You deserve to feel safe being yourself, to speak your truth without fear of judgment or dismissal. You deserve someone who wants to know your story, your fears, your dreams, and who is willing to share his in return. Do not settle for a relationship that feels emotionally one-sided. If you are the only one trying to have real conversations, the only one expressing feelings, the only one willing to be vulnerable, then you are not in a partnership. You are in an emotional desert, and no amount of love can bloom in that environment. Real love requires emotional courage. It asks both people to show up fully, to take the risk of being known and to honor the other's heart with honesty and care. Anything less than that is not true connection. It is emotional convenience. So if you feel like you're always talking, but never truly connecting, pay attention. Love without depth is not love. It's an illusion. And you deserve the real thing. Sign 7. Keeps in touch but never commits. There is a specific kind of heartbreak that comes from being almost chosen. From being kept close, but never close enough. When a man keeps in touch, checks in with you, sends occasional messages, or even flirts from time to time, but never moves the relationship forward, it creates a false sense of hope. And that hope can be more damaging than outright rejection. At first, it feels exciting. He still texts you. He still watches your stories. He might even call late at night to say he misses you. These moments give you just enough to hold on to, just enough to believe that maybe, someday, he will come around. But that someday never arrives. The relationship never deepens. It never evolves. It stays in limbo, floating between possibility and disappointment. This behavior is emotionally manipulative, even if it is unintentional. It keeps you attached to someone who has no real intention of building a future with you. He enjoys the emotional comfort of your presence but avoids the responsibilities of commitment. You become a safety net, a familiar face, a person he turns to when he wants validation, but not someone he truly invests in. A man who keeps in touch but avoids taking real steps forward is someone who wants to keep the door open, just in case. He doesn't want to lose you entirely, but he also doesn't want to give you what you deserve. So he lingers in your life, sending thinking of you messages, reacting to your posts, occasionally suggesting to meet up, but never following through with real consistency. This kind of relationship can feel like being trapped in emotional purgatory. You're not really in his life, but you're not completely out of it either. You wait. You hope. You interpret every small gesture as a sign that he's finally ready to commit. But over time, you begin to feel exhausted, disrespected, and unseen. The most dangerous part of this dynamic is how easily it becomes normalized. You begin to lower your expectations. You stop asking for more. You tell yourself, at least he still cares, or maybe he's just not ready. But deep down, you know the truth. Someone who truly wants to be with you does not hesitate. He does not delay. He does not risk losing you by dragging things out indefinitely. Love requires action. Words, intentions, and feelings are not enough unless they are followed by consistent behavior. If he has had months, or even years, to figure out what he wants and still hasn't chosen you, then the answer is clear. He's not going to. And that clarity, however painful, is your liberation. You deserve more than breadcrumbs. You deserve a relationship that moves forward, that grows, that makes space for you. You deserve someone who doesn't just keep in touch out of convenience, but who shows up fully, without conditions or excuses. You deserve to be chosen wholeheartedly. It's time to be honest with yourself. How long have you been waiting for him to change? How many times have you read into his messages, only to be disappointed again? How much energy have you spent holding on to a version of him that only exists in your hopes? Letting go is not giving up. It's recognizing that your time, your heart, and your future are too valuable to waste on someone who only wants to keep you around without ever really choosing you. Walk away from the almost. Walk away from the maybes. Choose yourself, fully and fearlessly. A man who truly wants you will not risk losing you. He will not need reminders, pressure, or ultimatums. He will know. And he will act on that knowing with clarity, with respect, and with consistency. Anything less is a delay tactic. And life is too short to spend it waiting for someone who already knows how they feel, but is too comfortable to give you the truth. Set yourself free. The love you deserve will never keep you waiting in the hallway of uncertainty. Sign 8. You are always the one waiting. One of the clearest signs that you are not a priority in someone's life is when you are always the one waiting. Waiting for a reply. Waiting for him to show up. Waiting for him to make time for you. Waiting for clarity. Waiting for love to finally feel secure. And in that endless waiting, you slowly begin to disappear. When you are constantly waiting, it sends a message, not just to him, but to yourself. It tells him that your time is flexible, your needs are negotiable, and your presence is guaranteed. It tells yourself that maybe, just maybe, you don't deserve to be someone's urgency. That maybe being chosen slowly is better than not being chosen at all. But the truth is far more painful and far more freeing. Real love doesn't leave you on hold. It doesn't make you question your place or beg for attention. It doesn't thrive on delay or keep you in the background while other things take priority. Love that makes you wait endlessly is not love. It is emotional starvation disguised as patience. You may find yourself constantly checking your phone, hoping this time he'll reply quickly. You make excuses for him. He's busy. He's tired. He's going through something. But deep down, you know the truth. You know that when someone truly cares, they find a way. They make time. They reach out. They don't let you sit in silence, wondering where you stand. Waiting becomes your normal. You wait for dates that keep getting rescheduled. You wait for conversations that never happen. You wait for emotional intimacy that never deepens. And all the while, you shrink. You learn to suppress your needs. You hesitate to speak up, afraid that asking for too much will push him away. But the truth is, if you have to chase love, it was never yours to begin with. A relationship should be a place where you are met, not where you constantly chase. You should not have to fight for someone's time or beg for their presence. If you are always waiting, then he is not meeting you where you are. And love, real love, meets you. It doesn't make you beg. It doesn't keep you hanging. It doesn't confuse you into thinking that maybe next week, next month, or next year things will finally change. There's something profoundly damaging about waiting for someone who never arrives. It chips away at your self-esteem. It creates a cycle of hope and disappointment that leaves you emotionally exhausted. You start to wonder if maybe your expectations are too high. Maybe you're too intense. Maybe you should just be more patient. But deep down, you know. You know what it feels like to be treated as a backup plan. To be tolerated instead of celebrated. To always be the one reaching out, suggesting plans, keeping the connection alive while he gives you the bare minimum in return. You are not here to be someone's afterthought. You are not meant to sit in the waiting room of someone's indecision. You deserve to be chosen, not when it's convenient, not when there's nothing else to do, but because you are deeply valued. Because your presence brings light, meaning, and depth. Because he sees you, truly sees you, and wants to build something real with you. The hardest part of walking away from someone who makes you wait is letting go of the potential. The version of them you created in your mind. The hope that maybe, one day, he'll realize your worth. But don't wait for that day. That day may never come. And even if it does, you deserve more than delayed love. Choose yourself today. Choose the life, the peace, the clarity, and the love that do not require waiting. Let go of the constant emotional limbo and step into a space where you are met with certainty, not silence. Where your time is honored. Where your heart is cherished. Where you no longer have to wait to be loved the way you've always deserved. Conclusion. If you've seen yourself in any, or all, of these signs, it's time to pause and ask the question that matters most: what kind of love do you truly deserve? Because the answer is not found in half-hearted efforts, inconsistent affection, or endless waiting. It's not in hidden relationships, emotional unavailability, or being someone's second choice. You were not born to be an option. You were born to be chosen fully, wholly, and without hesitation. Real love doesn't leave you in confusion. It doesn't pull you close just to push you away. It doesn't make you beg for time, attention, or clarity. Love, real, honest, soul-deep love, is consistent. It's open. It's proud to choose you, and it proves that choice every single day. If a man only gives you breadcrumbs while feasting elsewhere, let him go. If he keeps you around but never commits, walk away. If you're always the one waiting, stop. Your worth is not measured by someone else's ability to see it. It's measured by how deeply you honor it, protect it, and refuse to let it be reduced. You don't need to convince the right person of your value. You just need the courage to leave the wrong one behind. Because the moment you stop settling for almost, you make room for everything you truly deserve. And trust this, someone out there is not just ready to choose you. He's already searching for you. Don't miss him by staying where you're only tolerated. So that concludes today's video. Thank you for taking the time to watch until the end. I hope you found some valuable lessons and that these shares will help you on your love journey. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more interesting content in the future. I appreciate your support and I'll see you in the next videos. Wishing you love and happiness.